In this video, I am getting ready to go back to school. We homeschool. My kids are going into 4th grade, 3rd grade, and 1st grade. And I am prepping what used to be our schoolroom and preparing to move it to a different room in our house. Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Erica Lucas. I homeschool. This is my annual summer video for homeschool. Check the timestamps in the description box below because it's going to tell you where I talk about planning, where I talk about group subjects, 4th grade, 3rd grade, and 1st grade. And then, check the timestamps. So let's talk about planning first. Yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. I keep it what I think is simple. Yearly, I just map out what you might call terms or semesters. I think this year we ended up with seven semesters or terms. Each one of them is anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks long, and then we have a break, either 3 days or 5 full days, depending on what time of year it is or what we're doing. So I have accounted for birthdays, vacations, holidays, Christmas. We just take some time off around Christmas, the whole week. Usually the week before we don't do much either, but I have it as part of our plan. It comes out to be this year, 2023, 24, 38 weeks of school with a little room to breathe. So the first thing I do is I print a calendar that starts in July and runs through June of the next year. I pick my start date and my end date, and then I start to fill it in on when I want to do school. Our start date this year is August 14th, and then my end date is June 14th, 2024. So then monthly, I made this sheet in Canva, and it's just got 12 months. This one's starting in August because I'm not going to start read alouds until August. And then I've got one for read alouds, science units, social studies units, arts and music. And then I start mapping the month, like the unit, the materials, whatever I might need. I also have an Excel spreadsheet where I take the number of lessons in their curriculum and I divide it by the number of weeks I want to get it done in. And that just gives me an idea for the month of September where I should be landing at the end, October where I should be landing at the end of the year if I want to finish that book within that time frame. I always allow for hurdles where we get stuck on a concept, especially in math, where we have to spend extra time on that concept. We got to get out of the workbook and I got to figure out other ways to teach it. Each week, I just base it off the week prior, what we got done or didn't get done, as the case may be, and then I just map weekly. This year, I'm using the School Nest Homeschool Lesson Planner, the minimalist version. The other one that they have just has daily sheets as well. So that's the difference between the two. I chose this one that has the weekly plan. Because we're doing group subjects this year. It will be the first part of our day. Some people call it morning basket, morning time. We call it morning collective, if we call it anything, or group. It's just the things we do together and the things they do one-on-one with me. So the things we do together this year will be world history, which we use biblioplans, year 2 medieval. We are going to continue using that until we're finished. We're like a third of the way through from last year. We picked it up at the end of the year last year, and now we're just going to keep on rolling with it. I have combined those two subjects, world history and art, using Take Time for Arts art pack and their medieval and Roman art packs. I pulled those together with biblioplan and we do all of that together, and we do that 2 times a week. We also have Bible study. This year I went with Not Consume's Bible study. I chose Fruit of the Tongue, the Christmas one, and My Brother's Keeper so far. I bought them each the primary guides, and then I bought myself a parent guide. And I put time on the calendar for 3 times a week to do Bible study together. And I made a basket at our coffee table where I keep all of my Bible things anyway. I just made a basket for Bible study for us for school at here. So we would just sit around the coffee table and do our Bible study 3 times a week. So we wouldn't be doing that in the schoolroom or at the big table. We would actually be sitting on the couch snuggled up together, studying our Bible. So actually the last 2 years, they have shared the kids' Bible or used my Bible, and they just Bible journaled. That's just what we did for the last 2 years. We would pick some scripture, they would copy it into their Bible journal, and they would draw a picture about how they feel when they heard it and when they read it, and that's how we studied the Bible. I also bought them their own Bibles this year. They don't know that yet. It's gonna be kind of a first day of school gift where they're gonna see it inside our Bible study basket. We are also having a continued focus on current events as part of social studies. We watch CNN 10 3 days a week. The CNN 10 is actually made for kids to use. It's on break during the summer, but it's coming back in August. Geography. We have 3 units that I have so far planned. The first one is on continents and oceans. It's kind of just a review as well as actually some language arts that's built into it. I bought a paid teachers unit study for that one. We're doing types of maps, which I thought would be interesting. We've never really talked about that. And we're doing US rivers and mountains. Those are the 3 geography units. And another thing they're going to be doing is a state study. I bought the junior state notebook. They put the sticker for the state tree, state flower, state bird, and they color in where it is in the country, a picture of something interesting they found, the date of statehood, its rank in our country based off of statehood, a famous person from this state, an interesting fact about this state. Here they could even draw the state flag if they wanted, the capital city, and the abbreviation. And I am going to go through this with them, not alphabetically. We're actually going to go in order the state was admitted to the Union and garnered their statehood. That's the order we're going to go in. Because one of my units for my 3rd grader and 4th grader is social studies. Those 2 will be doing it together, and we are starting with the 13 colonies, Western expansion. In prior years, we talked about Native Americans, European exploration to the States, wasn't the States then, but European exploration, and talked about the occupation of our country before the 13 colonies. So we are picking up social studies this year with a discussion about the 13 colonies and westward expansion. I bought one for my 4th grader, one for my 3rd grader, and I bought one for my 1st grader because it's stickers and he might enjoy it. The book we're going to use as the resource book for this workbook is the Desk Atlas of the United States. It's a full color. Each state gets 2 pages, and it tells you quite a lot. Some notable events, people, places, highlights, the famous folks from the state. So we'll be able to fill in all of the blanks using that as a resource. We are continuing to use Squilt Live for the 3rd year. Love it. Miss Mary is amazing. This is her 7th year putting on programs, monthly programs for music, and she puts up 2 live webinars a month depending on your level in Squilt. 2 live webinars. She gives you tons of resources to use every single day if you wanted to. I mean, it's just loaded. So we are going to continue to use Squilt Live. We will attend the live webinars, and in the weeks that she doesn't have the live webinars, I pull a unit from one of her prior years, and we do that, which is so amazing because you have the recorded webinar, the printed packet, anything else you might need. She also gives you picture books to read alongside. I highly recommend Squilt Live. It is not an affiliate link. I'll just link it below. We started The Good and the Beautiful's Simple Machines. We got 1 day in. My mom got sick. I never picked it back up. So we are going to start over with Simple Machines, and my 4th grader asked for a separate science study for biology. I could not find any resources online on YouTube or by Googling for upper elementary biology that I liked. There's NoEO and Real Science. Those were too expensive and too cumbersome for what he would want. He would want to do this for like a month. So I decided to get DK's Super Simple Biology and Biology for Curious Kids. I'm just gonna grab those 2 books, and he and I are gonna sit together and read them. If he has questions, we can Google, we can watch on YouTube. I might be able to, just use a notebook along with that, and he can just record ideas, questions, or I can write down his questions and just have a I have empty composition books. These are 50 cents at Target. I have empty composition books that I can just use as a separate little science unit. He's big on science, and I want to, science is usually child-led for us, and they tell me the topics they want to learn, and I just either go by curriculum or I make my own sort of unit study. The other things they asked for were dinosaurs, so I bought the paleontology unit from The Good and the Beautiful. We're going to do that. We're going to do energy. We do energy every year, just in different forms. This year I bought the Wonders of Energy from The Good and the Beautiful. Also, a new thing I'm adding into the program this year is poetry. And I had to think about what were the goals? What did I want them to feel about poetry? I want them to appreciate it. I want them to learn to analyze it and understand it. I want them to garner some figurative language understanding from it. What's a simile? What's a metaphor? The types of poetry, alliteration, haiku. So what I ended up doing was literally writing down my goals, first of all. Oh, memorization. There's a lot of science behind the synapse development of memorization at a young age. And so I wanted to make sure they were memorizing some poetry. I dabbled with it last year and they took to it. They loved it. I had a coloring sheet for each poem and they memorized it. My rising first grader struggled to memorize it, and that's okay because he's 6. So we'll just continue to practice it. So memorization is one. I bought JDA's 12 months of poems for memorization. I will leave her TPT link down below as well as her channel. She's fantastic. So I'll leave those links for you below. But I bought her 12-month memorization poems. They're kind of seasonal. So I'm just going to display the poem for the month somewhere in the schoolroom, and they can just continually practice. And then I have a couple of poetry units that I haven't printed yet for analyzing poetry and questions to ask and what to look for in the title and what does the figurative language tell you, how to circle some words or phrases that are confusing in the poem and then go back and read it again and try to understand it, and basically spend time appreciating, memorizing, and understanding poetry is my goal. When I went through my shelves, I only had 2 books of poetry, Shel Silverstein and Mr. Rogers. I think I need to grow my my poetry book collection a little bit this year. So if you have recommendations, please comment below poetry books that you have loved. There are 2 more parts of group. The first one is quiet reading time. That follows history or their independent work in the morning. It's just a segmented time of the day, probably about 20 minutes, where it's quiet in the house. Every single person is reading, including me, and we just sit quietly and we read. During that time, I'm expecting my 4th grader and my 3rd grader to be making their way through their required reading stack for the year. I will share that with you when I share each grade, what we chose for read alouds this year so far. The last part of group time is our read alouds each month, and I'll share that stack with you now. A read aloud stack for the year. These are the ones I've chosen. Sorry, library book. Okay, they're all library books except for this one. I own this one. I might end up purchasing these after we've read them if they're the kind of book that I want to keep on the shelf that I think we might reread. I may end up, but this is how I usually do it, is I get the library book before I make the purchase so that I can see if it's something I really want. Okay, so Heartwood Hotel, love, 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 love this entire series. We'll be reading book 2 again. The rest of these, so I kept them out from the library because I wanted to check them out, but I will be returning these to the library after this video. I wrote them all down as the book, the read alouds that I want to read this year. And then when we're ready for it, I'll just go get it from the library. That way I don't keep all of these to myself for the year, as great as that would be. All right, so we have Vanderbeekers of 141st Street. I did it. Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly. A Wolf Called Wander by Roseanne Perry. My Father's Dragon by Ruth Stills Gannett. I'm not sure if I said that right. This actually has 3 tales inside one. My Father's Dragon is only, I think, 98 pages or something. We're just going to read the first one. If we love it, we'll read the other 2. Penderwick's Book 1. I'm super excited to read this. And then from Kate DiCamillo, The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. What I did was wrote down all the other ones that I might want to go get from the library. I forgot this one in the stack. This is another one of our read alouds, The Candy Makers by Wendy Mass. First grade, my 6-year-old son for language arts will be doing All About Reading Level 2. We'll be continuing, so you have a bookmark where we left off at the end of last year. We use what we call star bins, where we have put a star, a colored star on the front of each one of these bins. I got these from Office Max. They're so sturdy. This is our 3rd year using them. So they use what we call star bins for math and language arts organization. This is where they keep it all. It used to live on my carts, but this year it's going to live on their desks. Also for language arts, he's going to continue with my printing book. I think when he's done with this one, I'm actually going to move into The Good and the Beautiful's handwriting for him. And language arts, he's also going to start doing daily word ladders. My other 2 do these. He will absolutely need help with these, but this is a really good way for him to start understanding phonetic spelling and handwriting practice as well. And then for his assigned reading, he will be reading through the Usborne 2nd library. He read through the 1st library with kindergarten, and now he is going to make his way through the 2nd Usborne library. And for math, he will be doing primary mathematics. He's already in 1B. He finished 1A last year, so he's going to do 1B, and we've already started it. And health is an individual subject in our household this year, so he is just going to keep on going. We're about halfway through this book, Healthy Habits for grades 1 and 2, so we're just going to finish this book this year. My 3rd grader for language arts, she is going through The Good and the Beautiful's, where are we on? Level 2. So we're just going to keep on going with that. She does The Good and the Beautiful's handwriting. She is also going to do more daily ladders, grades 2nd and 3rd. She's going to do Fix-It Grammar. And she's going to do Paragraph of the Week. It's a thing I bought from Teachers Pay Teachers, where it's focusing on narrative opinion and informational paragraph construction. And it breaks it down, the process: plan, brainstorm, draft, edit, final. And it walks them through the steps. It gives them writing prompts. And for me, I will teach her. Actually, my 4th grader and my 3rd grader together will be doing this. Paragraph workshop is what I'm calling it right now, where at the beginning of the unit, I will teach them about the topic. So what is narrative writing? What is a narrator? What are the constructs of a narrative paragraph? And then I have 3 writing prompts that I've already chosen and put into their binders, and they will just work on that independently, bringing me their drafts. We'll talk through their edits and then focus on the final. Math for my 3rd grader, she's moving into 3rd grade math with confidence. Love this program. She used 1st grade, she used 2nd grade, and now we're on 3rd grade with her. This is a fantastic program for her. I have tried a lot of math programs with her. This is the one that just, it seriously makes me happy for her. So we're doing this, and I built a math toolbox for her with the base 10, oh for heaven's sakes, base 10 blocks. It gave you a supply list at the beginning. Some fraction circles. She needs a ruler. She needs dice and counters. She needs money, a deck of cards, actually 2 decks of cards. I forget what else. And then for health, for my 8-year-old turning 9 this year, I bought the Care and Keeping of You, the body book for younger girls, and the journal to go along with it. She and I will sit together and we will read the book and she will journal, and it's just a conversation about young girl health. She has readers that came with The Good and the Beautiful, and then her assigned reading stack for this year, Back to Language Arts for 2nd grade, which is independent quiet reading. She's going to go through The Night Zookeeper. She started this, her best friend read them, and so now she's interested in reading this series. We used to have the program, the app, the computer app. The kids didn't play it as much as I thought I got my money's worth, but the books are very good. She's going to read The Sasquatch Escape, again, a library book that will be going back. Anna Hibiscus. Hibiscus? Yeah, I said that right. Dory Phantasmagory. Dragon in the Library. The Kingdom of Renly, Book 1, and then all the rest if she likes it. And Princess in the Black. I think there's 2. I'm not sure if there's more. There might be more. I think there's more. So she's got these 2 that she's already started as well. And those will be her assigned reading. And then once we've gone through that, we'll figure out the next list. 4th grade. I'm going to start with assigned reading. This is all I've come up with so far. I'm thinking a book a month for him that would be assigned reading. I just have to pace with him. He reads a lot at night, but they're all comic books, and I would like him to read something that's not a comic book as well. So I have these. I've dedicated time in the day for him to read them, even if it's just 5 pages a day. We'll get through it. So the first one is King George, the whole hilarious story of the American Revolution. This will be assigned when we do our 13 colonies unit study. The Oregon Trail. This is a choose your own adventure. I think there's 4 books in it. There's an updated version of the game, Oregon Trail, the original one, like from the 80s. There's an updated one that you can buy through the Steam account. So I might get him that game too. This will be assigned when we do our Westward Expansion Social Studies unit. Wings of Fire. I think this is a series. We'll see how this goes. Spy School. This was a gift from my mom, so he's excited to read that. And Book Scavenger. There's 2 books that I know of. I don't know if there's a 3rd, but there are 2 books with this. So I'm going to assign him Book Scavenger as well. 4th grade language arts. So you saw the assigned reading. We're continuing to do IEWs 1A, SSS structure and style 1A. We made it through 7 weeks, I think. Each week, as it's constructed in here, takes us about 3 weeks. It's just a lot for him to do. And so I just have a bookmark where we left off last year. He'll just pick it up. So you watch the video, you do the keyword outline, you do your draft, you add variations, you add your ly adverbs. It's just a good writing practice. I do, however, I changed how we did this. Handwriting for my 4th grader is difficult. He fights me a lot on it, and it's hard for him. So I have lifted that requirement out of IEW. So now he can type his keyword outlines, he can type his draft, and he can edit and type his final draft to turn in. So allowing him to use the computer changed the game for us, and we picked up speed. So I think we'll be able to actually get through it this year because I changed my expectation. For grammar studies, we are going to finish Michael Clay Thompson's level 1 and move into level 2. He does The Good and the Beautiful's handwriting level 3 that introduces cursive along with print. He's going to do daily ladders grades 4 through 6. He'll do the paragraph workshop. Spelling. I forgot to talk about spelling. So my 3rd grader and my 4th grader will be doing spelling together. We use IEW's Phonetic Zoo. I adore how it teaches the rules. That was, for me, I was floundering with teaching spelling. So each card in Phonetic Zoo has a rule. and your kid will take a test to determine if they're column A, column B, or column C. Then you could repeat the whole program with one of the lists. So each kid could go through the program 3 times. So affordable, economical for what you get out of it. What I do is I take the spelling roll and their spelling list. My daughter is list A, my son is list B. On Mondays, I introduce the spelling roll. I before E, except for C, and except for when it sounds like A and day. And they get their 15 spelling words that are on the IEW Phonetic Zoo list. Then I go into a PDF that I bought from Teachers Pay Teachers for spelling worksheets. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they have spelling practice. In their binders, which I guess I should also show you next, they have a tab for spelling. It has their spelling words of the week, and this just gets changed out every time they learn a new rule. Their spelling words, practice, a couple of practice sheets. So in this PDF I got from Teachers Pay Teachers, you plug in the 15 spelling words and hit update. It updates like 30 different sheets. And then on Friday, he takes his spelling test. My 3rd grader does that as well. So the other thing for spelling practice that we do is I have them write out their spelling word on the index cards for the week if they want. And then these cards can come with us to a playground, or they just do it right here in the house or in the backyard. They lay them out and they jump from card to card, spelling the word out loud when they get to it. Just another way to practice spelling. For my 4th grader specifically, I also would like my 3rd grader to start doing it, is continuing book reports for their assigned reading and for the read alouds. I require book reports. Sometimes it's just like draw a picture of your favorite thing, rate it, who was the main character, what was the setting. We just talk about the story elements. This year, I want my 4th grader to level up and my 3rd grader to tag along. I made a master binder for myself of all the book report templates that I had. And so what they'll do is come in here and shop for a book report template, or I will assign one for that specific book. And I just printed 5 copies of each template that I had, and they will complete the book report to go along with the assigned reading or the read aloud. Where this little bookmark is, that's the difference between just general book reports for any book, and then these are genre specific. We are going to do a bit of a deeper dive into different kinds of genres. So I even have these cards to maybe put up on the wall or just study. It's all the different kind of genres that we read, and they could fill out a genre response reading sheet. And then what I put on the master here is you're gonna pick either a genre response reading sheet or a book report template. You can just fill out the piece of paper, turn it in, that's fine. Or if you want, you can turn it into a poster, a diorama, comic strip. If you want to recreate the retelling in a comic strip for me, that's fine. These are my requirements. If you're not going to fill out a sheet and you're going to do something creative, awesome. I just want you to either focus on retelling the story structure, the characters, the setting, the plot, the problem solution, the sequence, retelling the story sequence, beginning, middle, and end. Compare and contrast 2 characters, 2 settings, 2 different books in a series. Do like a Venn diagram if you want, or create a character spotlight. If a character drastically changed and grew in a story, break that out in a poster or a diorama. Tell us about how that character developed and where they started and where they ended up. So I'm going to require that. Now that will be part of the quiet reading time, where they're either reading, or if they finish their book, they're working on their book report. Math, same thing as the last 3 years for him. Primary mathematics, we are preparing to finish 4A. I already have 4B. He's just gonna roll right into that. And for health, for him, we're doing the guide stuff, the body book for boys. He and I are also just gonna read together through this. And I mean, the title of this page is seriously, wash your face. Taking care of the skin you're in, taking care of your mouth. Why do you brush your teeth? Attitude is everything. Read that page 10 times. Fitness, moods, vitamins, being the big guy, being the little guy, shapes and sizes of all boys, chest, smell, underarms. These binders have been around for a while. I'm actually surprised they're still intact, but probably just jinxed myself. So I have my 4th grader, my 3rd grader, and my 1st grader. His is lighter. I just require less of him. So in my 4th grader's binder, mainly this is used for group time. So we do a Pledge Allegiance. I did a daily checklist for them, and where it's filled in with a color is what I'm expecting of that day. Kind of flow or daily flow. Monday, they always start their day with independent work except for co-op day. So I just spread the subjects out through the week and make sure we hit them 2 or 3 times during the week on the plan, whether or not it happens. That's all managed in their binder. So if they need it, I've got the Pledge of Allegiance. Their social studies unit is already printed and ready to go in here. I have a teacher guide, and then they have a workbook. And this is just the first unit that we're gonna do. And it has like a booklet and some activities as well, all organized and printed. For geography, our first unit's gonna be continents and oceans. And so that's already printed and ready to go. They have book logs for the month. They color in one and write on the back the name of the book. For the workshop writing, I'm going to teach them, we're starting with narrative. I'm gonna teach them, and then here are their assignments. And that's 3 weeks of work right there. That's independent work. Spelling lessons, we're just starting the whole thing over again, and we're doing lesson 1, going through the rules again. And then here are his first weeks of spelling words and some practice sheets. Music I have not organized yet, and health is going to be just reading that book with him. My daughter's is built the exact same way, and she has the exact same sheets. And my 1st graders, the organization is, the tabs are in the same spot, but he doesn't have as much. So for him, he's still memorizing days of the week and months of the year. He is still getting the right direction on his handwriting and his numbers. And here's where we are. We're just going to keep on going with that. And then I don't have anything for social studies for him. Geography, I assumed he would want to do that with us. Book logs. He has his Usborne second library. This is the book list, so we can cross things off. And then any extra books he reads, we can put here. He's not doing writing. He will do music. I just haven't put that in here yet. So his binder is lighter. I guess a summary of the organization is they have their binders that go along with group time. Group time is organized on this cart. All of my group subject stuff is here. All of my teacher manuals and my supplies are in the other cart this year. These are my carts this year. The kids are not using them. They're gonna have their own desks. In the past, it's held their star bins, it's held art supplies, it's held all kinds of things. This year, hands off. These are mom's things. Student organization here, and their star bin on their desk.
I wanna run away, wanna make mistakes now, 'cause I don't wanna stay, wanna live my own life, wanna feel passion for something or someone that makes my world turn upside down, wanna give it up for something or someone that's better than this. So don't be too offended, I have to leave, there's nothing in for me, no, I'm not fitting in, I've packed my things to go, am I being naive? But it's my choice to make, it's my new rebellious way.
Cleaned up caddy. It's still stained at the bottom, but that's okay, it's clean. I organized the school pencils versus the colored pencils. And then I took advantage of the Prime Day competition that Target puts up. So these were each 25 cents on Prime Day on Target's Circle app. So I got some extra stuff and school pencils too. Those were not 25 cents. I think those were $3 each, which is a great price. And so I am going to put it away in the supplies organization that I've already done. So let me show you kind of what that looks like. I claimed 2 shelves so far. This one and this one as school supplies shelves. Okay, so I got these for 50 cents, I think, on the Target Prime. I call it the Target Prime Day sale. It's obviously not what it is because Prime is Amazon, but Target puts up a big giant sale on the same day as Prime. So there we go. All right, we've got stickers, scissors, and erasers. This is going to be glue and glue sticks. Yeah, we go through a lot of glue. We do a lot of projects. I've got markers, crayons, and here's the stapler and the tape with the supplies that go with it. I'll probably just do something like this because the tape gets used more than anything else. We have these gorgeous organic beeswax crayons. They have lasted a really long time, and my daughter uses them a lot. They're really fantastic, and I cannot believe how long they last. Colors of the World crayons. I think there's also the kindness crayons are mixed in here too. Oh, this is a terrible crayon. It came with an art kit. I have to throw that away. It's so messy. Ooh, there's a pencil. And then I have the pencil caddy here with colored pencils on one side. I'm going to put school pencils, and then it's right next to where we have the pencil sharpener because that's where the outlet is. Thank you for watching. I'm really glad you shared your day with me today. I know this is kind of a longer video, but it is my annual homeschool video. So there you go. Have a great day.